Welcome back to the channel. Today on May 31st, 2025, we're diving deep into a classic tech rivalry, Intel versus AMD. We're looking at two flagship processors, each vying for the crown in your next PC build. In one corner, we have AMD's Ryzen 7 9800X3D, a chip specifically engineered with gaming dominance in mind. And in the other corner, Intel's Core Ultra 9285K, a powerhouse built on their latest architecture, aiming for overall performance supremacy. Both represent the cutting edge of CPU technology, but they take different paths to get there, offering unique strengths for different users. So let's break it down. The AMD Ryzen 7 9800X3D is the latest evolution of AMD's gaming-focused X3D lineup. Built on the Zen 5 architecture and utilizing TSMC's efficient N4P or 4nm process node, this CPU is all about delivering maximum frames. It features 8 cores and 16 threads, which might seem modest compared to some competitors, but its secret weapon is the innovative 3DV cache technology. This stacks an additional 64 megabytes of L3 cache directly on top of the core complex, bringing the total L3 cache to a massive 96 megabytes. This extra cache significantly reduces latency, giving games faster access to critical data and boosting performance. So, how does this translate to actual gaming? Well, the numbers speak for themselves. The Ryzen 7 9800X3D, when paired with a high-end GPU like an NVIDIA GeForce RTX 5090, pulls significantly ahead in gaming scenarios, especially at 1080p where the CPU often becomes the bottleneck. On average, across a suite of 16 games, it's about 35% faster than Intel's offering, hitting around 195.5 FPS compared to the 285K's 144.9 FPS. Critically, its 1% low frame rates are also 25% higher, meaning a smoother, more consistent experience with fewer noticeable stutters during intense gameplay moments, which is huge. Now let's look at Intel's champion, the Core Ultra 9285K. This processor is the flagship of Intel's Arrow Lake S desktop lineup, built on their advanced 3nm process technology. It takes a different approach, focusing on a higher core count and a hybrid architecture to tackle a wider range of tasks. Featuring 8 performance cores or P cores based on the Lion Cove architecture and 16 efficiency cores or E cores based on the Skymont architecture, it boasts a total of 24 cores and, with hyper-threading on the P cores, 32 threads. While it's a very capable gaming CPU, its design choices lean more towards heavy multitasking and productivity, which we'll get into. Section 2. Workstation Warriors, Productivity and Raw Compute Power. When we shift gears from gaming to productivity tasks, the narrative changes quite a bit. The Intel Core Ultra 9285K, with its significantly higher core and thread count, really flexes its muscles. This is where that hybrid architecture and sheer number of processing units come into play, making it exceptionally well-suited for applications that can utilize all those cores simultaneously. Think video editing, 3D rendering, complex simulations, and heavy-duty software compilation. These are the scenarios where more cores often directly translate to faster completion times, and Intel has engineered the 285K precisely for these demanding workloads. The benchmark results clearly illustrate this advantage. In multi-core tests like Cinebench 2024, the Core Ultra 9285K scores a commanding 2,496 points, which is a staggering 81% faster than the Ryzen 7 9800X3D's 1,376 points. Similarly, in POV Ray, a ray tracing benchmark, the 285K achieves 15,464 PPS, almost double the 9800X3D's 7,783 PPS, a 98.6% lead for Intel. These are substantial differences, highlighting Intel's strength in heavily threaded professional applications where time is money and rendering queues need to be cleared quickly. Even in single-core productivity tasks, the Intel Core Ultra 9285K generally maintains an edge, though the margin is smaller. In Cinebench 2024's single-core test, the 285K scores 148.9, about 10.7% faster than the 9800X3D's 134.5. For tasks like single-threaded audio encoding, Measured by the lame benchmark, the 285K completed the job in 8.83 seconds versus the 9800 X3D's 9.05 seconds, a 2.4% lead. The geometric mean of single-threaded application performance shows the 285K leading by about 13.6%, which is still a respectable advantage for tasks that don't scale across many cores, but benefit from strong individual core performance. The architectural design of the Intel Core Ultra 9285K is key to this productivity prowess. The 8 Lion Cove P-cores are designed for maximum single-thread performance in handling demanding tasks, while the 16 Skymont E-cores are optimized for power efficiency and tackling background processes or highly parallelizable workloads. Intel's Thread Director technology works with the operating system to intelligently assign tasks to the appropriate cores. This combination of high-performance P-cores and numerous E-cores gives the 285K a significant advantage in multi-threaded applications compared to the 9800 X3D's more traditional 8-core 16-thread design, which is primarily optimized with its large cache for gaming. Section 3. The price of power dollars, watts, and thermals. Now let's talk about what it costs to get this kind of performance, both in terms of initial purchase price and ongoing operational costs, like power consumption. The AMD Ryzen 7 9800 X3D retails for around $480. In contrast, the Intel Core Ultra 9285K launched with an MSRP of $620 and currently sells for about $590. That's a $110 difference on the CPU alone, giving AMD an immediate 20% price advantage right out of the gate. This initial saving can be quite significant when you're planning a new build, potentially freeing up budget for other components like a better GPU or more storage. Beyond the CPU itself, platform costs also play a crucial role in the overall value equation. AMD's AM5 platform, which supports the 9800 X3D, generally offers more budget-friendly motherboard options. You can find good quality B650 motherboards starting in the $150 to $200 range. For Intel's Core Ultra 9285K and its new LGA 1851 socket, compatible 800 series mid-range motherboards tend to average between $250 and $300. This difference in motherboard pricing further widens the cost gap, making the AMD route more attractive from a pure value perspective, especially for budget-conscious builders. Power consumption is another critical factor, and here, AMD really shines, particularly under load. While at idle, the Intel 285K draws slightly less power, around 16 watts pure idle versus 20 watts for the 9800 X3D. The tables turn dramatically when you push these chips. In heavy multi-threaded AVX workloads like Y-Cruncher, the 9800 X3D consumed 176 watts, while the 285K guzzled 287 watts. That's 63% more power for the Intel chip. In Prime 95 with AVX enabled, the difference was even starker. 171 watts for AMD versus 325 watts for Intel, a 90% increase. This significantly impacts your energy bill and thermal output. This difference in power draw directly impacts cooling requirements and overall system efficiency. The Ryzen 7 9800 X3D, with its lower 120-watt TDP and 162-watt peak power, or PDP, can be comfortably cooled by a mid-range air cooler, which might cost you around $40 to $60. The Intel Core Ultra 9285K, with its 125-watt base TDP, but a much higher maximum turbo power, or MTP, of 250 watts, demands more robust cooling. Think a high-end air cooler, $80 to $100, or a 240mm or larger all-in-one liquid cooler, $120 or more. While Intel is faster in tasks like Blender rendering, it uses nearly 3 times the energy to achieve that, making AMD the efficiency king here. Section 4. Beyond the benchmarks, overclocking, longevity, and the final call. For enthusiasts who like to tinker and squeeze every last drop of performance from their hardware, overclocking capabilities are important. The Intel Core Ultra 9285K generally offers a more traditional and granular overclocking experience. It comes with unlocked multipliers for both P-cores and E-cores, allowing for separate frequency adjustments. Users also get fine-grained voltage controls and the ability to configure the maximum junction temperature or TJ max up to 115 degrees Celsius, providing a lot of headroom for experienced overclockers to push the limits, assuming they have the cooling to match these efforts. AMD, on the other hand, has made strides with overclocking on its X3D chips. Historically, 3DV cache CPUs had limited overclocking potential due to the cache's sensitivity. However, the Ryzen 7 9800X3D now officially supports Precision Boost Overdrive, or PBO, and also features an unlocked multiplier. AMD has even redesigned the cache placement to improve thermal conductivity, which helps. While Intel might offer more in-depth BIOS-level controls favored by hardcore tweakers, AMD's Ryzen Master software provides a user-friendly interface for PBO configuration, making it more accessible for many users looking for a performance boost. Looking at long-term value, platform longevity is a significant consideration. AMD has committed to supporting the AM5 socket through at least 2025 and potentially beyond. This means that if you buy an AM5 motherboard today for the 9800X3D, you'll likely have an upgrade path to future Ryzen generations without needing to replace your motherboard. Intel's new LGA 1851 socket, introduced with Arrow Lake S, is expected to last for perhaps 1 to 2 generations, which is more typical for Intel platforms. This gives AMD a clear advantage in terms of future-proofing and reducing upgrade costs down the line. So who wins this showdown? According to Tom's Hardware's overall face-off, the AMD Ryzen 7 9800X3D edged out a win with a score of 4-3. However, the best choice really depends on your priorities. If your primary focus is gaming, especially achieving the highest possible frame rates and smoothest experience, the Ryzen 7 9800X3D is the clear champion, offering superior gaming performance, better power efficiency under load, and greater overall value due to lower CPU and platform costs. But if your workflow involves heavy productivity tasks, intense multi-core applications, and you need maximum raw processing power, the Intel Core Ultra 9285K is the stronger contender despite its higher price and power draw.